What did you say? Hello, everyone. Happy first day of spring. What a joke here today, right? We woke up with a couple inches of snow.
Yeah.
And it was nasty yesterday. I went and got my nails done and had to drive home in like slushy, slippery, slidey. But guess what? The sun is out today and it is warming up the parking lot, melting all the snow. So you really didn't have to work too hard, I don't think, to get rid of your snow this storm. Mother Nature will get rid of most of it for us. So welcome. Today is just going to be like, a bunch of stuff. If you have any questions, please enter them in our comment section. We love to see what we can help you with. We love it to give you prizes, and that's how we pick our prizes, by your comments. And also, if you just have something to say and you want to talk to us a little bit, we're here. So I am here today with Jessica, Heidi, and Kaylee, and they all have the same color on today, but me. So I'm the odd one out. So what did everybody do for St. Patrick's Day? I'm just kind of going to jibber jabber a little bit till everybody jumps on, but I want to show you my shamrock shake that I ordered on St. Patrick's Day when I went out for dinner. It was quite the thing. Like, I thought, I didn't even really look at how much it was. I just said, oh yeah, I'll have a shamrock shake. I didn't know it had alcohol in it too. And a piece of cheesecake with the rainbow, whatever those things are called. What are those things called? No.
It's like a fruit strip.
A fruit roll up or a fruit strip or whatever.
Like
candy. And then look at all those little Lucky Charms, little rainbows and little lucky things, all plastered on the side of the cup or the glass with frosting. So I think the glass was previously frozen, and then it had like mint with whipped cream on top and all kinds of like mint chip, shake. And it had alcohol in it. I didn't know it had alcohol. It was still good, But so it was $15. So it was like more than my meal. But it was fun. I got that at Parker John's in Menasha. It was super fun. So I love it when you can do stuff like that. And then had a really good, we had a Reuben pizza. So that's what I did for St. Patrick's Day. I love celebrating all those little traditions. And we went to New London the other day because New London, or New Dublin this week, has a full week-long festival centered around St. Patrick's Day. And they have a big parade on Saturday. Yeah, it's a big drunk fest. Yeah, let's just call it what it is. Heidi's like, yeah.
That's what it's known for.
It is. But they have a lot of fun. And hey, you don't have to drink, right? It's like me. I'm like a moderation person. Like 1 is good. 2 is okay. If I have more than that, man, I'm home taking a nap or whatever. All right. Yeah, maybe the cheesecake, but not the rest of it. It was a grasshopper. It was a fancy grasshopper. All right, but look at the love and care that went into that drink, and I'll always remember that. So sometimes it's not really about. It's about the whole experience, I guess. So, yeah, it was fun. All right, so hopefully you had a fun St. Patrick's Day, and we are welcoming spring in. So we're going to have a brand new quilt we're going to release in April from the quilt calendar. I know some of you are patiently waiting for that quilt kit to come out. We have recreated the antique quilt that was in the Better Homes and Gardens American Patchwork and Quilting's calendar for this year. So we are the April cover girl. So April 3rd, we will have that quilt here in the background for you. And hopefully we will sell all the kits that we made for it using Corey Yoder's beautiful line. Just what's the name of Corey's line? All right. I thought maybe she would know because I can't remember my own lines. So she'll look maybe. Okay. But anyways, it's a Corey Yoder fabrics that just came out. We just got them in. Perfect timing to make this quilt out of. So that's a couple yammerings going on before I start the real announcements. So the real announcements are, excuse me, what's going on at the gathering. So April 6th and May 4th, we have rug hooking. So mark those dates. These are all clubs that are going on at the gathering. and maybe you want to come and join us for this. We don't care if you're from out of state. We'd love to have you come. We just had ladies from Illinois and Maine in there this week, and they were a lovely bunch, and I had a blast with them. So if you're listening, we had fun, didn't we? Okay, and then all of these clubs include lunch for $25 that I'm going to be going through next. I'm going to skip. Oh, Bernina Social is May 12th. There is no April meeting. Featherweight, same thing, May 12th. Sit and Stitch, we have a couple of them coming up. Get this, this might be really fun for you. The 25th is kind of a standalone one. And then we have the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. So if you want to come for all 3 of those days, you can just leave your projects here, your machine or whatever, and that can sit here for 3 days. So for $75, you can come to the gathering for 3 days in a row, stitch for 3 days in a row, and eat lunch for 3 days in a row. No dishes that week. Right? Then we have Cross Stitch Club, no meeting in April, but May 7th. Wool Club, March 26th, no April meeting, and then May 21st. Stitchers Gathering, no meeting in April, and May 19th is the next one. And then we have this fun, we're going to try this out. It's a fun little three-day retreat starting on Monday, going through Wednesday, and it's a work in progress retreat. So you can bring whatever you want to bring. Maybe you're stuck on something. Maybe you have a project that you want to finish, but you're stuck on it and you can't make it work. So bring it in, and hopefully I can help you get over the hump and on your way to finishing any of your works in progress, because we always have works in progress, don't we? That is up there, so you can see price and all that kind of stuff. Then we have in July, the 11th and 12th, a coat class. August 4th and 5th, and October 10th and 11th. And again, those are just so fun. You want to make a coat out of a quilt. And then we have some openings in Jen Kingwell's classes. We, I think, should do a live on her classes and about each one, so they know a little bit more about those. And maybe they want to come, and we'll fill that all up, because we don't want Jen coming all the way from Australia and we only have a half a class for her one day. We want to fill these classes. We have plenty of time. She is going to be here in August. And let me tell you, out of this, if I could pick 5 people that I could have my best quilting friends ever, Jen would be one of those 5s. All right. She's such a cool woman. She has a wealth of knowledge. She just is just a gem. All right. So you want to take a class from her if you never have, because that's like a bucket list thing. She's that good. She's up there. She's the rock star. She's like Taylor Swift, okay, of hand stitching. All right. I'm gonna call her that next time when I see her. I'm gonna be, hey, I called you Taylor Swift. All right. So and then she also has a trunk show that we're gonna do on August 17th. So that's for anybody, whether you can take classes or not. If you are taking the class, it's only $20. If you're not taking the class, it's $35, and it is from 11 till 3:30. So you're going to kind of hang out with Jen that day. She's going to show you a bunch of her cool, exciting things, and then you can just hang out with her, touch the robe, rub elbows, whatever you want to call it. She's amazing. All right, then that is kind of like the end of the classes and clubs. But now we have, I don't know where we're at on the cruise, but I will talk to Roseanne and see where we're at. But she didn't tell me to stop promoting it. So March 1st through 8th of 2026, we will be going on a Caribbean cruise on the Harmony of the Seas. That is a Royal Caribbean ship. Edita and I will be teaching, and it will be a fun, fabulous time. I promise. Okay, so that's old stuff there. Okay, done with those announcements. On with some other stuff. Questions on anything before I get too deep in, before we get their questions get buried? Are we good?
A lot of people want to know about that quilt behind you.
Good, because I'm going to talk about it. Wait till I move the couch on wheels here. Hang on. All right. So then I just want to show you that the cookbook for the cross stitch event that I just went to, and this is I have my copy right here, and I, on page 6, donated one of my projects, which is this adorable pin cushion. Here, let me see if I can get this. It's called Point Beach pin cushion. It's about 3 inches. It's just super darling. So that's in this book, along with charts and patterns, all kinds of fun goodies and recipes. I don't know if my recipe made it or not. I haven't really taken the time to sit down and look at this book all the way yet, but I did send one, but you know, I might have sent it in a day or 2 late. So if it did make it, it did make it. I don't get all hell bent about some of that stuff. Okay. All right, crossing off my list here. What did you do with the postcards?
I don't.
All right. All right. Okay, so what else happened last week is, remember I came in on Thursday and I said we had done a photo shoot. So I think the pictures turned out so good. Now, you know, we all don't like to have our picture taken. But when you have to for promotional purposes, for fabric lines or whatever it is, I think Kaylee took so many cool photos of me. So I thought I would share them with you because, I don't know, I love it when I get good photos. So look at how fun this is. I don't think if I can really tell you what they are all for yet, but soon, like in May, I think I can tell you, or maybe even April. But look at how fun these are. I think we all should be able to have a professional photographer come in and take pictures of us all in our element and our glory. So that, right there, I'm in my outdoor living, right off the kitchen. And on my wall, I have like that, what do you call that? Shiplap wall back there. And every time I go someplace, I'm always looking for anchors. So if you know of any, I have a few spots left, not too many, but so for the last 8 years, I've been collecting anchors for that wall. But there I am on the table, just going through my stuff. And then, of course, I had to have a picture of the coat. Moda actually wanted me to have a picture in this coat, so they requested that. But look at how beautiful that day was out on the lake. And yes, don't be critiquing my dock. It did take a little bit of a beating this winter, but not too bad. It's still standing. That's a good sign. Yeah, it's still usable. I might have to come and have them straighten out a few things, but I don't know, maybe they weren't set yet or something. I don't know about that. All right, so then I have another little fun thing that Heidi showed me. So there is someone named Mary Palmer, and she has a little company called Mary Palmer Designs, and she's doing some unboxing of our quilt and wool boxes. So if you get a chance, go to YouTube and put in Mary Palmer Designs and watch her little unboxings of our wool boxes and our quilt boxes. She's super cute. And I just wanted to give her a shout out for that because why not? And she has 28 followers. I think we could probably double that. What do you think? Can we show Mary some love and subscribe to her channel? All right. So look at this. I'm starting to get more cards or postcards in for Unity. So we want everybody who's working on Unity to send us in a card or a postcard. It don't have to be, it can be a birthday card. We don't care. But just in the middle, say, hey, I'm doing Unity and we want to put all these cards in a special spot here at Primitive Gatherings. But some of you have gone way out of your way. You know, we got the wax seal on this one. And, you know, look at it. It just says who she is. And just a fun, quick little card in there, right? Nothing fancy. Send us that so we can show everybody how many people are doing Unity. Look at this creative person. She, you know, just, what do you call this? Laminated it. And she put it like a little postcard on the back. How genius is that? And then this one is like run through the printer. Isn't that cute?
Fabric.
Stitching along in Kersey, Colorado. we're talking about Unity now, and I'll talk a little bit more about Unity, or just send us a regular postcard from where you're from. This is quilted by Kathy Hughes, African Stars quilt. So this is a quilt that she has. Again, another postcard. Look at, this is just so fun. Please, please, please send them in.
It might be fun to do a drawing out of all of those at the end.
Yeah, good idea. Who knows what we'll do here at Primitive Gatherings. Okay, so let me talk. I got this whole list. Look at this list. All right. So where is Unity on here? I got to not. Okay, here we go. So now that we're talking about that, let's talk about Unity. Okay, so there's always a few questions when we give out a new clue. And just remember, if you're in our group, Stitch with Lisa Bongean, and people are asking questions, if you could be so kind as to just go to my blog, send them the link for the Unity Quilt Along, and post it right there in the comments so they can find whether they're looking for patterns, whether they're looking for worksheets, whether they're looking for whatever. If you can help them by posting links, that's usually the best. And a lot of times you guys have everything answered before I even find it, or I know Heidi's always really active in the group there, making sure everybody gets what they need. And just remember, everybody is at a different spot in a different space in life. Some people have a lot of time to, talk and to participate, but some people only have little snippets of time and they don't know everything that's going on. And they don't know about these lives, or they don't, sometimes we just can't assume that they know. So just always be kind in that group and always be helpful. And we appreciate every little bit of help that you give to anybody looking for anything. So we really appreciate that. So this week's winner on Unity, she can pop that back up, right? It's in here. All right, so now Kaylee's going to show you the winner. This is totally good from now on to present your 9 sets this way. Or if you want to use the triangles, just the triangles again, maybe you don't have them sewn this far, that's okay too. No, we don't care. All right, they don't all have to be in 4 blocks now, or 4 patch broken dish blocks. I think that's what they really are. Okay, those are all our previous winners. Heidi sends you a fun little package in there, and I think she sends a lot of charms too, so you might be able to use them in your quilt.
Yes, the main prize for this is a charm pack.
A charm.
Yeah,
okay.
For the weekly part.
Yeah, right. And it may not work with your fabrics, or it may not. But here's the thing: I saw some. Jeannie Sites is the winner. Kaylee pulled it up, but I didn't read her name. So thank you, Jeannie, for posting that and for quilting along with us. But what was I just going to say now?
You saw somebody, guessing it's the one that had all of her layered cakes. Even if they don't like the dirt.
Oh, yes. They want to know if the color that you picked for your background, if you have half square triangles that match that background, is that okay? Absolutely. All right. Don't worry about that. Like I have teal half square triangles in my quilt as well, even though my background is teal. It will all work. Okay, so don't worry about that. And then some people are wondering, hey, if I start with reproduction fabrics, do I have to stay with reproduction fabrics? Can I put whatever? Yes. I mean, you got to remember, these are 1 inch. All right. There's not too many people, unless you really know what you're doing, that's going to know that you have a batik and a reproduction next to each other. It doesn't matter. All right. We're using up our scraps. We're getting rid of fabric. We're doing the best we can to use all those little itty bits and pieces that we can. And if you don't have squares and you have strips, we do have some triangle paper that you can use in strips, but just always make sure that you have 4 of the same half square triangles. 2 sets of 4. You don't have to have 2 sets. If you have 2 half square triangle papers, that will make one of those Unity mini blocks that we just showed. All right. So I hope you all understand that. And again, we love seeing everybody's posts. They are amazing. It's super exciting. It keeps the feed going. And I know I don't see all of them, which is the weirdest thing. I wish I could. I wish I could see all of them. I don't know how, you see all of them in our group.
For the Unity quilts,
Yeah.
I think in Stitch, if you go into where the photos are,
Just
and
search
any
the photo.
Yeah, any photo that anyone's posted to the group, what will be in there, so you can kind of scroll through there and see
Okay.
all that way.
All
But
right.
you do have to go looking. You're not going to see all of them in your feed.
Okay. All right. So that's a good tip. So look at the photos and click on the photos, and it'll probably bring you to the feed then that it shows up in. Yeah, that's a really good idea. All right. So our wool boxes, I just walked from the back of the warehouse to the front, and there are like 4 or 5 huge pallets full of boxes, and they are waiting for the truck to come. They are all ready to go. This might be one of the earliest times we ever had them ready, and we are like, honest to God, I can't wait to show you some of this stuff, because this stuff is for May. All right, that's so good for me. Remember, I wanted to be ahead. Yeah, it's happening, people. It's happening. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited about being ahead and not being rushed and all that fun stuff. Okay, so then let me just talk quickly about the quilt box. So that went out for the first time in February, and now you should be working on your 4 patches for our Thrive quilt. Sometimes I get, when we use the same word a couple times, like Thrive and Thread and Thrive, I just kind of get kind of crazy. But we named the quilt in the quilt box Thrive, kind of like Thrive in 25. So how many of you would like a sneak peek of the quilt? So I'm just going to throw that out there for a couple minutes and see what your reaction is. If you want to see a piece of it, if you don't want to see a piece of it, if I do show some of it, I'm going to say, okay, turn around now. Don't look. All right, because I might. It's right here. It's all quilted. It's so beautiful. I can't help myself. I want to show the world how beautiful it is. So if you don't want to look, don't look. But I might show a peek of that. You are only making little 4 patches right now. And when I saw that clue come out and I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, ugh, I hope they don't think this is a pink quilt, because it is not a pink quilt. Matter of fact, pink is the least used color in the quilt. Okay? But it was a nice, easy clue to start off with. All right, so fill my feed full of, yes, I want a sneak peek, nope. All right, so if you...
They're flying in.
They're flying in? Okay. All right. All right. So how much of a peek you want now? All right. So let's just see what we got here. If I just kind of peel back. So here's a pink 4 patch. So that's what you're making in February.
Someone said the whole thing.
The whole thing?
No.
Should we?
No.
No? Yes, no, the whole thing. Big peek. Big peek. All right. I'll give you a big peek. I'll give you a big peek. Remember I told you there were stars in it, right? So here's a kind of a big peek. Isn't it beautiful?
They're all saying, do it.
And much better in person, okay? Much better in person than what shows up. I'm going to keep pulling it out.
They all say yes, so I haven't seen I know yet.
You know why I do this, right?
I am going to come over there and take it out of your hands.
Should we just show it? Should we
trouble.
just show it?
That's right.
Okay, come on, Jess. Come over here.
We're not showing the whole thing.
No, oh, Jess said no.
Just put the
Everyone wants to
kibosh.
know when that's coming in.
Yeah, that's another one.
They can watch comments sold right after this.
But are the barns available?
I will go and see.
All right.
I'm in the process.
Yes, really, don't let them not see it.
I'm walking downstairs. So
You may
guys
not
can do what
show
you
them.
would like.
All right, go do that.
You're getting scolded, Jessica, from these people.
Jessica!
Somebody says, Jess, ask Heidi.
She's not excited. Now, if she picked out all the fabrics and she did it all, she would be excited. Okay, come on.
Do you need help?
Half a quilt.
Yeah, half a quilt.
You're awful.
Yeah, she is kind of awful.
Oh,
Are you helping her? Or am I?
Who's helping? Okay, we won't show it all right, but about half. So we'll just drop half of it. But see how colorful and beautiful it is?
Okay, that's
Okay. All right. So that is the project that we will be working on all year in the quilt box. And thank you for all of you who really loved the idea that we hand quilted. And we did a little video on that. And thank you for those of you who maybe not be in the quilt box, but you bought the template and thought it was really cool. Yay! Do you love it? Tell me you love it, okay? Because I really love it. And, you know, mystery quilts are tough, but I promise you, I will never put out a mystery quilt that's a dog, okay? You will always love what we do here. I promise you that, okay? So you're going to have a fun-filled year in the quilt box for sure. And one of the ladies in the quilt box, she was super sweet. I don't remember her name because I should probably take more better notes, but she sent me a letter or email, I don't remember. I think it was an email. And she's like, you know, I get that this is the quilt box and, you know, we're doing quilts and I'm not complaining, but, you know, can you maybe do some other things, you know, like more pin cushions and more like thread books or more other things besides quilts. And, you know, when you put out a quilt box, you think quilt, right? I just think quilt. I never thought about putting those types of things in the quilt box because I do that for the wool box. I put out all these different things with the wool. I don't just make, you know, I make a variety of things, but in the quilt box, we've kind of been making, you know, quilts and a runner here and there, but she wants to see more variety of things in the quilt box. But I just want to explain why I thought it's a quilt box. We were making quilts, but we will. We're going to put some other little projects in the quilt box as well. So I thank you for that letter. And it was just fun to how she worded it because she didn't want to sound like she was complaining. So it was super sweet, but I get it. And I love that she took that time to write to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because, you know, even I need some refreshing good ideas once in a while. All right. So anybody have anything else on the quilt box or the wool boxes before I move off of those things? And you can still sign up.
That Thrive quilt, is that a good quilt for a beginner?
It's definitely a good quilt for a beginner. Bigger pieces, lots of space. It doesn't go together like it's not blocks. It's more like sections too. So that's why it's a mystery and you're going to be making little pieces and parts as we go and then it'll make a star. But that center is not a star block. Okay? So just so you know. And I don't believe there is a half square triangle in the quilt. It's all flying geese and stitch and flip or something like that. I don't believe there's any half square triangles in there. They need to have a cruise for UFOs. Okay, I'll get one going. That'd be awesome. All right. I'm not in the quilt talk, but I will be buying a template. I am learning how to hand quilt. I love reading the comments. Right there, that big one. Kathy. All right. How to decide to use a dark fabric. Okay. Oh, this is cool. I am learning how to do hand quilting. How to decide when to use a dark fabric for backing a quilt. Well, Kathy, guess what? It doesn't matter. You can put a dark backing or a light backing. Put a backing on your quilt that you like, all right? Or, you know, and sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I put backings on quilt that I don't even like. I just want to get rid of the fabric, okay?
It's true.
It is true, all right? So, you know, every quilt backing doesn't have to be this big, beautiful whatever, but sometimes we do things out of necessity. Sometimes we have the luxury of putting whatever we want on the back. However, I do want to point out that it is okay to put flannel on the back of a cotton quilt, like the hearth sides or the minkies on the back of a quilt. You can put homespun on the back of your quilt too. You do not have to do if you're doing a fabric line, you do not have to put that same fabric on the back. You can do whatever you want to do. How many of you really look at the backs of your quilts anyways? Do you? I sometimes turn them around and put them on the bed that way too. Because sometimes you just need a break.
With the dogs too. Like,
Oh yeah, you have dogs? Yeah. Yeah. So Jess might always put dark backings on her quilts because that's what's going to take the most wear and tear if it's on a bed. And because somebody asked me one time, why I put a white binding on? Well, I put a white binding on because I thought it was going to look good. I never thought about like the wear and tear that white binding is going to take. But sometimes our quilts, and you know this, sometimes our quilts are just stacked in a cupboard for long periods of time, and they don't ever get worn and loved. And that's okay too, because they're works of art. I use my quilts as decorating my home. Stacked cupboards, a stacked cupboard full of quilts there's nothing better than that. Okay, so yes. I loved your questions. I think it was Kathy. We have a mini quilt coming up on the 24th, which is Monday. And then I think that's the 11th one, right? Or is that 12? Huh?
Number 12.
Okay. Oh.
It's the last one.
Okay. So what we're going to do then is we're going to release that quilt on Monday. And then on Thursday, we're going to talk about a bonus quilt that goes along with the mini quilts, especially if you have our towers from Garden Gatherings or Flower Garden Gathering. What was that? What was that called?
Oh, garden gathering.
Garden Gathering. See, I told you I can't remember my own names. And then if you didn't ever do any mini, it doesn't matter. If you want to do this quilt that Alicia made out of all the leftover fabrics, it's going to kind of be a little bonus quilt. We'll have kits for it, basically, right? Okay. All right, so that is the mini quilt. We are on number 12. We were probably going to stop there, but if you let us know you want us to continue our mini quilt of the month, let us know, and we'll keep going. We might need a month or two to maybe revamp, or maybe we can just keep going. But then our weekend quilt, yes, we still haven't posted because I don't know. All right, somebody was on vacation, bless her heart, she's amazing. But tomorrow the quilt comes back. We will get it all ready to go, and then we will probably shoot 2 videos for the March and the April weekend quilt together. We won't release them at the same time, but I'm just saying we'll be ready to do that then. All right, barn quilt. Did I see the barn quilt?
Yep.
Did you have the one that's on it for this month?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
There's a lot of questions about
I know,
the barn coming.
because I'm going to talk about it right now. I need to apologize because we didn't take, very rarely do we have to change some of the wording in some of these, but we have some leftover directions in this pattern from the previous pattern. So this right here is not wool. This is stitched. So it talks about the green wool, and yes, your kit did not have that. All right, that is left over from the previous month, and we missed that. So this is the April block, but it comes out in March, right?
Yep.
All right, so this is the one, and Jess is going to talk about this one on Comment Sold. And yes, the barns are available yet?
On comments, sold they are right now. We're going to get them back in stock soon
Okay,
on our website.
so if you're still interested in the barns, just hang out with Jess and go to Comment Sold. All right, she'll show you some things there. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking about that. Okay, behind me is a scrappy quilt. So this has hundreds of fabrics in it. These are a compilation of a bunch of my fabric lines. I made this quilt for one of Lisa Alexander's scrapbooks. And what I did is I just took fabrics from all of my fabric lines and I made one quilt. So we want to encourage you to start stitching your scraps or make a scrappy quilt for our quilt show. So please, 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 we are looking for entries for our 2025 Scrappy Quilt Show. Kaylee will put up our little logo here. If you need information, is this on our blog?
Sorry, what were you asking?
Is there information for the quilt show on our blog?
Yes, there is.
LisaBongean.com. All right, there you'll find anything you need to know about it. I can tell you that what I don't want is a quilt that has a whole bunch of fabrics in that are like one fabric line. To me, that's not enough. Okay, a fabric line quilt is not a scrappy quilt. Scrappy quilt is a bunch of fabrics. All right, so keep that in mind, and hopefully the quilt will be like from, you know, finished in the last, did we put 3 years? 3 years. So we don't necessarily have to make a new one, but we don't want one that's, you know, forever from, you know, we just want you to maybe sew a new one. Okay, so if you haven't joined our 2025 show, you know it's a big fundraiser for us. You who all came to see our quilt show during our Primitive Christmas have helped raise money for Winneconne Elementary School. So this is one of the things that we do to help raise money, whether you come through the door, whether you send a quilt in, whether any of that stuff, that's how we are able to help out our community here. And this is one of our biggest fundraisers, and that is to do some stuff with that. Did we pick our recipient this year? No? Okay.
I think this D has a good question.
All right. Show me a good question. Can it be red and cream if all scrappy? You bet. As long as it's over, I think I said 75 fabrics. Am I going to count them? No. But if it's close, I might. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's an example. All right. So here's blue and white, or blue and white and gray and whatever. So look at this. Lots of fabrics. There's more than 75 here. So it can be monotone color version and be scrappy as well. Awesome quilt. I love this quilt. Okay. So I just want to throw this out there. I know that most of you are not interested in wholesale, but we are getting ready to do a wholesale show for the first time in how many years you think? 10? Probably 10 years. As Primitive Gatherings. I have gone and shown in the Moda booth, but we have not as a company gone to a wholesale show in probably 10 years. So if you want your shop to carry more of Primitive Gatherings, tell them that we are going to be at the show. Tell them to come visit us. We are working on this beautiful brochure showcasing all of the things that we wholesale here. And I do want to point out that we do wholesale kits here for wool. So even if your shop doesn't have a lot of wool, they could be buying kits from us, make a sample, and then keep ordering kits to sell in their shop. So we have a lot of different things that we wholesale to shops. And we do have a brand new wholesale website that just went up in the last month that is starting to slowly pick up. We're getting new customers on there every day. Nick is the one that is in charge of getting out our wholesale orders and stuff like that. So he loves it. You know, he loves to be busy. So please make him busy, whether you're a shop owner or whether you want to talk to your shop owner about carrying more stuff in. Are you guys like trying to figure something out here or what's going on? Well, I can just see the camera angles switching and whatever, but it's okay.
We're having a tripod malfunction.
A tripod malfunction. Okay. All right. And then I just want to talk a little bit about something that doesn't happen very often here. So I was just down in Bernina because I'm going to show you a couple things that just came off the machines. We have no quilts to quilt right now. So if you want to give Bernina a call, send your quilt in, whatever you want to do. There's no waiting back there. Maybe you need a quilt quickly or soon or whatever. We don't have a wait list right now. And we really haven't, we're looking that one?
Yeah.
Okay. We really haven't solicited for quilts in a long time, but we have nothing there right now being quilted besides stuff that I give them when I come in from a weekend or whatever, those type of things. And it's really fun for me to just say here and put it right on. So we have 3 machines down there. So if you want your quilt quilted, do you have the Bernina number? You can call this number, tell them you're sending a quilt, ask any questions you want to them. They would love to talk to you. And remember that if they are running the machines, they probably only check those messages like, the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, the end of the day. Okay? They're not going to pick up the phone all the time. I gave them permission not to have to answer the phone every time it rings because sometimes they need to get stuff done. And then I also want to thank everybody for, again, ordering apparel on our website and for ordering a bunch of our pumpkin spice sweatshirts. And I promise you, if you ordered one of those sweatshirts from Pumpkin Spice, this is going to be like your favorite sweatshirt. You're not going to want to take it off. Even after pumpkin season, you're going to want to wear it, okay? You're going to love those sweatshirts. So again, thank you for your nice orders of those. And keep in mind that we are going to have another one coming up that is really going to be awesome too. You know which one I'm talking about or no? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So then I just want to let you know that I've been working very hard on a fabric line that's coming out at the end of the year. I don't think I can talk too much about it, but I can maybe give you a little peek of some things, like maybe like the back. This is a mini charm project. I'm not going to show you. You might have saw a little peek of it when I winged it around though. And then this is a project too. I'm going to go like that. Like these really are like super fun, easy projects. So I'm working on another barn. Look at how fun this is. Okay. All right. All right, I want to show you this. And I want to talk about, hang on. All right, let's jump to this. We have sent out, or in the process of sending out, all of your thread kits for Serenity. So if you have been waiting for your thread kit, we're done waiting. I have made an executive decision that it's okay to use an 8-weight 8113 instead of a 12. It's over the stems for the most part. And I don't want you waiting any longer for them, so that's why we sent them out. I have people requesting just the 8s. So my friend Darcy, she's like, I don't want them 12s. I want the 8s. So her kit is all 8s. But when I pick an 8 or a 12, sometimes it's just like what I have. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's such a, you're just going to see a little bit more thread on the 8. And I actually love stitching with the 8s. The more I stitch, the more I want to stitch with an 8 all the time for anything. So don't get too hung up on the 12 weight versus the 8 weight. The only time I think it really matters is in the fancy embroidery stitches. If we're just stitching around a shape, an 8 or a 12, it's okay. Even if you have a 12, it's okay, and you need an 8, you can double your 12 if you don't have the 8. If I say use a 12 and you have an 8, use the 8. It's okay. All right. Yes, I wish I had unlimited amount of threads, but Valdani can't keep up sometimes. If you can find the 8 or the 12 somewhere else, go ahead. But I really see no difference, and I'm not going to hold up your kits any longer waiting for a 12 weight to come in when it would look absolutely gorgeous stitched in an 8. Okay, so look for your thread kits. They are on their way. And look at my thread kit. So see, I have the same thread kit. I have a little bit bigger pouch. I didn't get this one, but this is what I'm stitching in. And I want to show you something. And you're probably not going to like what I did.
It's a
All right.
Why do you look so satisfied with yourself?
What?
You look very satisfied with that.
All right. So this is going to be the block. This is the third block for Serenity. Isn't it beautiful? So Kaylee, can you zone in really right here, that spot? Can you see it? All right. So when I went to fuse, I didn't notice that one of my leaves were in the wrong spot. You see that? So what happened was I was able to get 95% of that fiber out of that. So it fused to it. So I heated it, picked it back up, put it in the right spot. And then I was able to really, really, really pick almost all of that out of there. But a little bit, like you could still see it if I pointed out. If I didn't show you that, you would never see it. And especially you're not going to see it once it's quilted. So I want you to know that sometimes stuff like this happens, and I could have redid the whole thing, but I didn't. All right, because I know that when this is quilted and it has texture in there, you're not going to see that. There is no residue on it. There is nothing. I don't know what else more I can do to get. I just think it's because this cross weave is so like flat, and you know what I mean? That's why I did it. Usually I can get it out all the way, but it's just kind of like made an impression on there. So I just want to point out that I left that in there. Okay. And you, how many agree with me that you would have left it? And tell me how many of you would have ditched it and started over. All right, I'm interested to know. Is there enough fabric in the quilt box to use trimmed down rulers? I wouldn't, but maybe, I don't know. I don't make things and trim them down.
I doubt it because it's using charms.
Right. Nope. So we starch, and I like to piece finish size, right? And I do pretty well. Okay. I don't have enough time in a day to trim every little unit that I make down. And I get maybe you do it for a different reason or whatever, but I don't want to say when we're using, you know, if it's a kit, there might be more room. But if it's using a 5-inch charm or something like that, I don't know. Up to you to try, okay? But good question. Thank you for that. I've done that before, picked off what I could and left it. Yes, Carla. I have too, many times. Okay, so where I am at here with all what's going on. All right, what else is in here? Okay, ooh, you're gonna love this. Gonna love this. So yes, this is my barn. I got to keep that together. Jake wanted me to, I asked him in Bernina if they wanted me to talk about anything else. Just FYI, we do have a special this month here at Primitive Gatherings on any accessories for long arms or any machines at 20% off. If you want to call Bernina or go on our website, we do have that 20% off there. All right. Look what's coming up. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So I have everything laid down and I'm ready to do the stitching on these. So these are some of the flowers that we have coming up in Indigo Revival. I'm using recycled jeans or reclaimed jeans here. I'll give you a couple more looks at the flowers that I have. These will be for May. Okay. Then, do you remember the little sneak peek I gave you last week? The center block. You're going to need, like, for sure 9.5 inches. I think I cut mine 10. This is going to be the center of our quilt. So start looking for a place that you can cut that big of a piece. Now, these did not come out of the same, well, maybe it did. I don't know. I have like 2 or 3 different pairs of jeans in my quilt, but they are all really worn and loved. Like they were so holy, and Nick needed to really let me have them. So here are my other, so I'm all ready to go. I have enough squares. I probably could put that information out now that I know for sure that that's going to be my center. I probably could let you know maybe after this weekend exactly how many squares you are going to need for that. But I could probably, I can't quite off the top. I don't want to give you any false information. Okay. What happens to the March blocks? Didn't I show the March blocks? I did. I showed the March blocks. You're going to look at them soon. You're going to have the pattern. They're on their way to you. I just want to show you what I'm working on right now. It's works in progress. But yeah, I did show the March blocks in a previous live. Oh, what about my opinion on the unity blocks?
How do you press them?
All right, so I wouldn't press the half square triangles open. I do not. But then I press the little things open. So the little short seams and the long seam, I press both of those open. Okay, you can nest them if you want. You can twirl them if you want. Again, I don't have time to twirl. Those of you do, I'm impressed. Don't get me wrong. I wish I could, but I can't. But that's what I do. I don't press the half square triangles open, but I press pretty much kind of, I'll be honest, I've been pressing more open because it's just a little bit more accurate. Open is more accurate. Okay. Okay. All right. What else do I have for you? I have this. This is the one thing that I kind of didn't get done on a timely basis, but it'll be worth the wait. So I don't know if I showed this ever or not, but I will have this done this weekend. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. It's going to be a framed piece. This is going to be a piece for the gathering, a free pattern at the gathering. I promised Peggy it will be done. She's like, you got that thing done yet? And I'm like, well, no. Okay. Just want to make sure I don't forget anything. I know I'm talking a lot. I also did, speaking of unity, I also did see where somebody did a nice little diagram about the math, like you're getting 72 lights and darks each month if you're getting our kits, and you figured out that if that happened, you'd be short 13 pairs. I promise you, you will not be short 13 pairs. We can easily, at the end, put those 13 in there or spread them out at the end. We will figure that out for you, but we did not forget that, okay? Okay. And I just want to throw something out there about, we are working really hard right now on our Facebook posts, our Instagram posts, and our Pinterest. So I have someone working on Pinterest, like making sure when our stuff shows up on Pinterest, that was like, hurry up, okay? Because
No, it wasn't.
you know, when our stuff shows up on Pinterest, that when you click on it, it goes to our website, it goes to the blog post that it's supposed to, all that kind of stuff. So if you can go on Pinterest, if you're a pinner like I am, I love Pinterest. If you can go on there and search for Lisa Bongean or Primitive Gatherings, and you see some of that stuff and pin some of that stuff, because we have somebody new working on it, but I will go in and I will like put in like Valentine's Day quilt, Primitive Gatherings, and my quilts do not show up because they're not like getting enough ranking yet or something like that. I don't know. The algorithms are different for Pinterest than they are for the other things. So do me a solid and go in there and find Primitive Gathering stuff. And you will find stuff that's my stuff that's sponsored by another shop too. I mean, that's okay. All right. But it won't link to my website. But find our organic posts or pins and help us like them, love them, do some stuff with them, pin them to your board. That will really help us get up there in the Pinterest algorithm. So you really can help me do that. And again, you know, our YouTube channel as well, make sure you tell everybody about it. Make sure you like it. Make sure you sign up for our notifications. And this is a big one, because we sent out a loyalty point promotion by email. Okay? If you don't have our email, if you're not signed up to get our emails, you might have missed this. double loyalty points is a big thing, right? So please sign up for our, what is that? It's our MailChimp, all right? So it's our newsletter communication. We did post on our Facebook group about our loyalty point promotion going on, all right? So just keep in mind, we want you all to use that. We want you all to get double loyalty points, but we have to have a way to communicate with you. So please, get us out of the spam folder, acknowledge us that we are legit, and we will promise to keep you informed on all the cool things that we have happening here. Okay? Now I just have I had a couple other things that I could talk about, but I'll save those for later. That's just some personal stuff. But I do want to say that our friend Gloria Parsons, last I heard, she was in the hospital. So I do want you all, if you knew Gloria or not, maybe throw up a little prayer for her. She is going through some medical issues right now, and we want to wish her the best and all the prayers for her. Okay, and then I had a couple other things here, but we can save them for other times. I do want to just point out that I have some March anniversaries. So my son Jake has been working for Primitive Gatherings for 17 years, Peggy 2 years, and Patty 1 year. Peggy is in the retreat house, Patty is in the shop, and we also have some employee birthdays that I want to celebrate as well. Both my Barbs have birthdays in March. Susie, you remember Susie? Suzanne? Yeah, Susie. Yeah. Susie's birthday is in March. Palmer and Joanne as well all have March birthdays. We wish them many more to come. All right. Thread and Thrive. We're all trying to get in there. We're going to hook up a Zoom meeting pretty quickly as soon as Alicia, I can get a hold of Alicia. She's with mom. Mother-in-law had a stroke, so we're working on this. And because I don't really know how to set up a Zoom meeting. That's my thing. But Alicia is the queen of Zoom, so she's going to help us with that. Okay? And if you do not know what we're talking about, this is a side group. You have to purchase this book. And yes, it is a lot of pages. It is a PDF. So you either have to print it or just use it digitally. But it's one of them where I want it printed. It's nice to have it printed. So hopefully maybe you can print it a little bit at a time. Print it black and white. It does not have to be color if you have a laser printer. It will still get the job done. But this is a group where we are going to be meeting Zoom once a week, and we are just helping each other with a healthier lifestyle, anything that we can do to promote. Vanessa has this wonderful workbook that we'll start going through as soon as we get more people on there. We have about 40 people right now. There is possibly 67 people that have purchased through me, through Vanessa's link, using my code. We want to make sure you have every opportunity to get into this group. Heidi, you need to friend Heidi at Primitive Gatherings. She will get you in this group. Okay? Yes, Heidi.
They can also email me if they're having trouble finding my account or whatever. So if I haven't reached out to you so far, or if you're just having trouble getting in there, just email me and we'll work on it.
Yeah, so we probably have like 25 people out there not getting connected.
Part of it is sometimes if you have a name that's common, and I type it in there and there's 5 different, I don't know which one to request. So the best way is to just get a hold of me through email and then we'll connect that way.
Okay. All right. So if you're trying to get into that group, we're not ignoring you. It's just one of those things. We're trying to get the right Facebook person in the group. We're not just going to randomly put in every Susie Brown. Right. We need to make sure it's the right Susie Brown. Okay. All right. Corey Yoder's line is called Callie and Co. Good job, Jess. Okay. All right, so that's all that's going on here at Primitive Gatherings today. I hope that you enjoyed what we talked about today. A lot of talking, I know. All right, so our winners for joining us today are Marlene Swiss, Sue Riley, and Wendy Heckela. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you. And next week, we'll be back here at Primitive Gatherings Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, where every stitch tells a story. Bye now.